So, today we're going to build something absolutely essential if you're serious about cybersecurity. We're talking about a personal digital dojo. Think of it as a safe, legal gym where you can practice, hone your skills, and really, truly master the craft without any real-world consequences. And really, it all comes down to this one question, right? How do you get good at this? Look, you can read all the books, you can watch all the videos you want, but cybersecurity is a hands-on skill. It's like a martial art. You can't just read about it, you have to actually practice. But where? That's the huge dilemma we're going to solve today.
And this is exactly why it matters so much where you practice. You've got two paths. On one side, you have the black hats. These are the bad guys you see in the movies, breaking into systems illegally, usually for money or just to cause chaos. But on the other side, you've got the white hats, the good guys, the ethical hackers, the defenders, the security pros who use the exact same skills to find flaws and make the world more secure. And to walk that white hat path, you need a training ground that is safe, legal, and ethical. Okay, so that brings us to our first big idea here, creating that essential safe space. This is, without a doubt, the foundation of all practical cybersecurity training.
You know the old saying, right? Practice makes perfect. But, and this is a huge but, you can't just start poking around on your company's website or your neighbor's Wi-Fi. That is a one-way ticket to some serious legal trouble. So the professional solution, the only solution, is to build your own personal private lab, an environment that you 100% control.
All right, so you've got this lab. Now what? What are you going to practice on? You need an opponent, right? You need a training partner that can take a few hits and actually help you learn.
And that is where our digital dojo really comes into play. We're going to set up a very specific, well-known training partner. Its name is Kioptrix, and it was built for just one reason, for you to hack it.
So how do we do this? We use something called a virtual machine, or a VM for short. Now, the concept might sound complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. Think of it like a video game emulator, but instead of emulating a single game, it's emulating an entire computer. It's a self-contained PC that just runs as an app on your desktop, totally separate from everything else. Now, we're not just using any old VM. We're using a special kind called a vulnerable VM. And it's exactly what it sounds like. It's a virtual machine that someone intentionally built with security holes and outdated software. It's basically a digital punching bag designed to let you practice your techniques legally and safely.
And that brings us to Kioptrix. In the security community, this thing is a legend. It's a whole series of vulnerable machines, and they are absolutely perfect for beginners to cut their teeth on. It gives you a great learning curve and teaches you those fundamental skills that every ethical hacker has to know. Okay, so we've covered the what and the why. Let's get our hands dirty and talk about the how. Believe it or not, we can get this whole thing up and running in just 3 simple steps. First things first, let's talk about your toolkit. You're only going to need 2 things. Number 1, some virtualization software. Something like VirtualBox is totally free and works great. And number 2, you need the Kioptrix VM file itself, which, you guessed it, is also a free download. And here they are, our 3 steps. It's super simple. We're going to download the tools, then we'll import the machine, and finally, we will configure the network. And that last one, that's the really important one. Okay, step 1, super straightforward. You just need to find the official websites for your virtualization software and for Kioptrix and download the files. Now, the key word here is official. Always use trusted sources. You don't want to start your hacking journey by getting hacked yourself. Step 2 is maybe even easier. You literally just open up your virtualization program. You find an option like import or open, and you point it at that Kioptrix file you just downloaded. The software takes care of the rest, and boom, you've got a new virtual machine. All right, now for the most crucial part of this whole setup, the configuration. We absolutely have to build a digital fence around this vulnerable machine. The goal is to make sure it cannot, under any circumstances, talk to the internet or see any other computers on your home network. It needs to be in its own little sandbox. Let's actually visualize how this is going to work. It all starts with your computer, the laptop or desktop you're using right now. In the world of virtualization, we call this the host. Now, your virtualization software, what it does is it creates this private little bubble, a virtual network that only exists inside your computer. The key here is that it's completely cut off from your Wi-Fi, from the internet, from the outside world. And right there, inside that safe bubble, that's where we put our Kioptrix machine. That's our target. It can only communicate with other machines inside that same bubble, which makes it the perfect, safe, isolated playground for you to practice in. Okay, the lab is built, the sparring partner is waiting. So, what now? Time to open the doors to the dojo and get to work. So here it is, your first mission, if you choose to accept it. You're going to have a second VM inside that same bubble, your attacker machine. Think of it as your command center. Your job is simple. Power on Kioptrix, and then from your attacker machine, find its IP address on that private network. Now, I know that sounds almost too simple, right? Just find an IP address. But that simple act is the very first step of almost every single real-world ethical hack. It's called reconnaissance, finding your target and learning everything you can about it. This is where the real journey begins. You see, setting up this lab, it isn't just a technical exercise. It's not just about clicking buttons. It is the first concrete step you take on a much, much bigger path. So why does all this matter? What's the big picture? Well, the skills you start building in this little lab are in massive demand. We're talking over 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs around the globe. Every single expert in this field started exactly where you are now, in a simple lab, just learning the fundamentals.
So there you have it. The dojo is open. Your sparring partner is powered on and waiting for you. The only question left is, what weakness, what vulnerability, what new skill are you going to discover first?